These are 9 financial goals you must attain by the age of 30, or you might just give up. It's great if you're already in your 30s, but make sure you get started on things as soon as possible. According to research, Gen X in their 40s and 50s are financially devastated because they made terrible financial decisions when they were younger. Yes, purchasing avocado toast is even worse. In terms of retirement savings, both millennials and Generation X have spent roughly $35,000 on average. However, millennials are far closer to retirement than Generation X. So, welcome to Investing Wise Academy. Today, we will feature 9 financial goals that you should consider before you turn 31. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to update for more videos like this. I am Jules, and let's get started. So, if you want to be well on your way to financial independence, you should start with these 9 financial goals, particularly the 4th. I won't repeat it frequently, but this is one goal you must complete before moving on to the next, because understanding is half the fight, and this is a mistake that most financial influencers make, which is just stopping and asking, what do you want? A beachfront house? A Lamborghini? Luxury clothes? Do you want it because you want it or because society says you should want it? Do you aspire to be boss? Have the potential to acquire incredible money while being incredibly stressed and having a very little spare time? Or do you want more laid-back lifestyle where you're financially comfortable but still have time to spend with your friends and family? There is no incorrect option, but whatever road you take, be sure it is one you genuinely desire. Okay, enough of that. Let's go down to business. I'm sure you've seen this man before, Dave Ramsey, who is infamous for his loathing all of things debt, which makes sense since if you don't genuinely know debt, like on the best body level, it might be terrible news. But here's the truth. The notion you must avoid all debt is neither feasible nor sound financial advice. Contrary to what my guy Dave teaches, not all debt is bad. There is contrast between good and bad debt, which is I will explain. Understanding this subtlety is the difference between financial freedom and financial slavery. Okay, bad debt is something you're probably most familiar with, such as vehicle loans. For example, if you buy a new automobile, it will lose value the instant you drive it out of the showroom. The average automobile loses 20 to 30% of its value in the first year, then depreciate 15% each year after that. Other types of bad debt include high-interest credit card debt, payday loans, and so on. Essentially, bad debt is anything that prevents you from progressing toward your financial goals. Good debt, on the other hand, is an investment that may increase in your income or net worth in the future, such as employing leverage to acquire real estate. Consider the following scenario. You have $1,000 in cash and may choose between 2 residents. One home costs $100,000, whereas the other costs $500,000. Is it preferable to buy the $100,000 property with no debt, or to use your $100,000 in cash as a down payment for the $500,000 home and pay the remainder with a loan? The average appreciation rate for each of these properties is 5%, which means that their value increases by 5% per year. If you acquired a $100,000 property by next year, your net worth would grow by $5,000. If you took out a loan and bought a $500,000 property the following year, your net worth would increase by $25,000. That's $20,000 in difference. In essence, good debt is something that can help you improve your long-term financial status. But if you already have a lot of bad debt, here's my preferred plan for getting rid of it: the avalanche method. Consider how much money you can spend to pay up your debt each month, and then make a list of all your amounts and the minimum payments necessary. Now sort them by interest rate from lowest to highest. Assume you have $1,000 credit card bill with a 20% interest rate, a $2,800 credit card balance with a 10% interest rate, and $17,000 auto loan with 8% interest rate. Make all minimum payments on your balances and apply any extra funds to the amount with the highest interest rate. In this example, it's the credit card with the $1,000 debt. After you pay off the balance, go on the next balance with the highest interest rate, which is the $2,800 credit card balance, and put as much money as you can towards it. This strategy is the most efficient way to get out of debt, mathematically speaking. Next, you must grasp the actual power of your credit score and wield it like Thor's hammer. Because it may mean the difference between rich and poor, consider your credit score to be a simple statistic used by lenders to estimate your likelihood of repaying them. And the less hazardous you appear to them, the more money you may save. Assume you want to take out $30,000 automobile loan and pay it off in 5 years. If you have great credit, you might be able to acquire an interest rate of 3.5%, that is for 5 years, and you would only pay $2,700 in interest on that loan. In comparison, if you only have ordinary credit score, you'll obtain an interest of 8%, which means you'll end up spending roughly $6,500 in interest alone. That's a difference of $3,800 over time, and I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money you might have saved and used towards the next financial objective, which is perhaps the most significant when it comes to obtaining financial freedom. Now, by far the simplest way for you to develop credit is to use a credit card, and pay attention because this is critical. Every month, you must be responsible and pay off your credit card account on schedule, because even a handful of missed payments can harm your credit score. My advice is to only use your credit card if you have the funds to pay it off, and to begin with minor purchases such as petrol or McDonald's cheeseburgers. The next crucial task is to understand as much as possible how the stock market. When people hear the term stocks, they think of expensive degrees, fancy clothes, ties, watches, drinking scotch, and spending all day looking at charts. However, this is not the case. Hollywood makes the stock appear more complicated than it is. It's easier to get started now than ever before. The sooner you start, the better off you'll be. And here's how you can retire a millionaire at the age of 50 using only the stock market. Assume you're 20 years old, and if you put $500 a month into S&P 500 index fund with a 10% annual return, your investment will be worth more than $1 million in 30 years. By the way, index funds are extremely safe. Rather than investing in a single stock that may rise or fall with market volatility, an index fund automatically invests in hundreds of different stocks, considerably reducing your risk. And you can essentially set it up and forget it. Another thing that most financial advocates rarely mention in the importance of investing yourself. To be fair, this may imply 1,000 various things, but the most apparent is in your education, and I don't mean college, I mean learning new things, literally right now. Since learning never ends and it's arguably the finest investments you'll ever make, consider a single book that costs maybe $10 and can be worth over $1,000. That book can educate you on how to increase your productivity to accomplish more, or how to negotiate better agreements. Consider that book to be a $10 download of the author's 50 years of knowledge and expertise. If you don't enjoy reading, it doesn't even have to be a book. It might be free movies on YouTube like this one, where you spend a few minutes every day learning something new. So, there is a ton of stuff out there. All you need is the ambition and effort to get started, preferably before you're 30. But it's not only about self-education, it's also about your health. Invest in more active and healthy lifestyle to save and earn thousands of dollars later in life. Did you know that persons who are classified obese at the age of 50 spend around $36,000 on healthcare throughout their lives? Furthermore, persons who are deemed healthy earn around 28% more than those who are not. There is one piece of financial advice you should entirely disregard because it's garbage, and it's this. Common wisdom is that you should save a year's pay before reaching your 30s. However, they fail to recognize that your 20s are incredibly turbulent. A recent graduate may be earning $30,000 and then suddenly receive a $100,000 raise at the age of 29. Are they supposed to have $100,000 saved up all of a sudden, or what if they lose their job? How do you include it into your savings goal? Here's what you should strive for instead. To purchase your 30s, save the average of your annual wage during your 20s. Assume you earn $30,000 per year from 20 to 25 and $70,000 per year from 26 to 30. So if you make roughly $460,000 over those 10 years, divide it by 10 and you should have around $46,000 saved away. Now, if you could save even more money, that would be excellent, but keep in mind that this is not always feasible to achieve depending on your position and where you reside. There is no one-size-fits-all answer here. Recognize your particular financial circumstances and alter your aim accordingly. If savings that amount of money is utterly ridiculous and causes you tension and anxiety, then save a bit less. On the other hand, if this sum appears to be simple, raise the bar. Personal finance is called that for a reason. But here's what you can do to generate more money and eventually save more money before your 30s and developing multiple streams of income before you're 30. Did you know that 65% of self-made millionaires have at least 3 streams of income, 40 have at least 4, and 39 have 5 or more? Moreover, relying on single source of income is riskier than you realize. Because if a strategy occurs, such as Thanos snapping his finger and your employee disappearing, it may all be over. There are 261 working days in a year, and if you could simply make an additional $20 on each of those days, you'd have an extra $5,000 by the end of the year. But how do you make that work? You could do what I did previously and work some overtime, ask for a raise, obtain some more credentials, or go for a better job, or you could do what the popular kids are doing nowadays and start a side business. Now, this might be the deciding factor in whether or not you ever reach financial independence. Simply said, you must begin to normalize discussing money with your friends, family, and co-workers. And believe me, I understand that talking about money is difficult, is terrifying, and there's a lot of bad connotations attached to it. However, this is the primary reason that many of you like me grow up with a little knowledge of money, investing, or debt, and it's time to break the pattern. This is why you want to make sure that the individuals you surround yourself with share your financial objectives, or at the very least understand where you're coming from. Because if all your friends enjoy spending money on frivolous items but you're trying to save for the future, you're likely to spend more money than you're comfortable spending to hang out with them. That also applies to your life partner. You need to be on the same page, or else you'll have contradictory goals and, well, you'll have a horrible time. If you never discuss your wage with your co-workers, you'll never know if you're being appropriately rewarded for your labor. What if you're getting paid $10,000 less because you can't negotiate as well as they can, although you two do the same job and are equally competent? By opening the dialogue, you may reclaim control from your employer and interrupt the negative money loop. Debt and taxes are two inescapable occurrences in life. The simplest method to begin is with tax advantage account, such as 401k check from your job. It's simply a retirement account into which you may contribute money to reduce your taxable income, saving you a significant amount of money. Here's an extremely simplistic example, and yes, I know I'm not accounting for the marginal tax rate. Assume you make around $40,000 per year and are taxed at a rate of 25% of your earnings. Therefore, you would pay $10,000 in taxes and your take-home pay would be $30,000. But what if you could bring home even more? Let's imagine you started donating only 5% or $2,000 of your $40,000 salary to your 401k. That $2,000 taken pre-tax from your paycheck, making it appear to Uncle Sam that you only brought home $38,000. That implies that if you stayed at the same 25% tax rate, you would only pay $9,500 in taxes. So you not only save $500 in taxes every year, but also have extra $2,000 saved up in your retirement account. There are several more options to save on taxes, such as Roth IRAs, HSA account, tax loss harvesting, charities, and so on. But first, familiarize yourself with the tax system since it might you save millions of dollars in the long run. If you endeavor to attain these 9 financial objectives before the age of 30, you will be light years ahead of your friends, family, and co-workers who have chosen to do other things. But this isn't the only key to financial independence. I'm sure you didn't realize you were genetically designed to be poor from the moment you were born. So, to learn more, make sure you are subscribed to Investing Wise Academy for more upcoming videos like this. Again, this is Jules, and thank you for watching.